You're listening to Tales of the Forsaken, an actual play podcast by Noble Jester Productions.
Welcome back.
Yeah, one session down.
One session down, and we didn't make really any progress towards what we're trying to do, but we did kill a crocodile.
We did, and we're learning the game.
Yeah.
I'm learning more than you because I knew less than you.
But clearly I didn't know as much as I thought, because actually playing was a different story than just reading.
Yep.
So, we're actually in a better situation than we were, though, because my health is back to full. I'm a little higher on momentum.
Yeah,
you're higher on momentum. Our supply is higher. We're doing pretty well.
Yeah. I'm going to make some sweet shoes from the crocodile.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. That's my third asset. Crocodile shoes.
I mean, I'm sure we could look through here and something could make sense.
Oh yeah, I need to take a third one. Maybe I should do that.
So you're supposed to have a path, and I know you came up with one.
Was it the devotant
It
thing?
was.
Okay. So is that the asset?
Yes.
Okay, I just wrote it way over here on my page, and that didn't make any sense to me. Because I'm devoted to Yindra.
Yeah, so essentially, you're devoting. When you say your daily prayers, you can secure an advantage by asking your god to grant a blessing. If you do, roll plus your god's stat. On a hit, take +2 momentum. So essentially, you're going to roll to try to secure an advantage, but you're using your god's stat
That's what this is.
added to your stat.
That's what it was. We did a heart of 5.
Yeah.
I think I need to make my morning prayers. This seems like... Is that too high, though, that 5?
I think what it means is you're going to roll however you normally would with secure an advantage. So plus heart, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're also going to add whatever stat of yours is the one that would be favored by your god.
Okay.
So rather than rolling a +5, you would be adding,
my heart.
your heart.
Got it.
So essentially, if you did secure an advantage and rolled with heart, you'd be adding heart twice.
Okay. But we just kind of thought that stat, the heart stat, was the best one. I mean, Yindra does like some iron.
I actually, rethinking it,
Rethinking
I think iron makes more sense.
Yeah.
Just because of who Yindra is.
Yeah, she doesn't rule with heart.
No.
That's an easy correction.
Yeah.
So I'm going to make my morning prayers to Yindra to help us on our journey.
This would probably be a pretty normal thing, and I'm not going to make you actually pray to Yindra here. That might get a little weird.
That's going to get real weird real quick.
You might want to just kind of describe how your character, wakes up in the morning and does this.
Yeah, I mean, I think, for him, he cares about the marked, then obviously it's this, devotion to Yindra and the people of Rillian. So he would get up, he would, lay his sword out kind of in front of him, across on the ground, like on a rolled up fabric. You put it down so it's not directly on the rocks. And he would kneel down and kind of put palms down on the sword and pray to Yindra that way.
Okay. This would probably be a pretty normal thing that Core is, used to you doing this in the morning. I don't know if it would upset you at all, but you would probably know that Core does not pray to Yindra. I mean, he serves Yindra, but doesn't really worship her.
Yeah.
So, while you're doing this, Core is packing up camp, he's cleaning his pistols, he's kind of doing the normal things.
Yeah, I think Uli would be used to that too, and he'd be almost like, I'm going to do your prayers for you. I'm going to include him in mine. That's how he's going to be doing it. So, okay. So we're going to do a little roll here. That is, I rolled 8, which is so it'd be a weak hit on...
So you would be rolling, if you're praying, probably either plus wits or plus heart, and then you also add your iron for Yindra.
Got it. So then I would say adding heart makes sense with that.
Yeah, I think, I mean, however you're praying.
Okay.
I guess if you're aggressively praying, Maybe you could use iron.
No.
Or, beating yourself with your sword.
That'd be weird. No, it's just a regular prayer. Okay, so still a weak hit. So our advantage is short-lived then, but we'll take 1 momentum.
Okay. And then you actually would take 3 momentum, because on a hit you take +2 momentum with your asset.
Ooh. I like that.
So on a strong hit you would take
4 then, right? Oh wait.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, you would do the normal thing.
Oh, I get to make another move now. +1.
On a strong hit.
Okay, so then I am up to 8 on my momentum.
Awesome.
That's a good way to start.
That's a good way to start the day, definitely.
Okay.
And then just don't forget your shield.
Yes, I have
your invoke, so you should be absorbing the magic around you.
So how does invoke work again? Like I meant to print these out last time we played.
That was what we talked about, and then we did that.
And then I forgot and life happened.
So when you consume the mystical essence of your surroundings, whatever that means,
okay,
you would roll plus wits. On a strong hit, you add that value to this essence track. So it's from 0 to +6. I would guess it starts at a 0.
Okay.
And then when you secure an advantage or face danger, you can use that essence. You can add that essence to your roll.
Okay. Well, I mean, being here on Esmar, there's just something about it. Just feeling it. Sensing things I haven't sensed since, like, moments I had with my parents,
Yeah.
So I'm just... Yeah.
I would say at least once a day, kind of as part of your
my morning prayers.
Yeah, I think this makes sense.
Yeah. Okay. So that's with my wits. That's a 6, and that is a miss.
Okay.
So I have no essence today.
It doesn't say what happens on a miss.
So I don't gain a bonus then.
Sure. On a weak hit, you endure stress.
Oh.
So I guess there's a downside to this.
Maybe there's something that's just not listed right there when you're...
Okay, so we probably need to look at this more, but it looks like this is more of an in-the-moment thing. So, because it says when you get the strong hit, then you can secure an advantage or face danger.
Oh, so it's like potentially like when we're in a combat scenario.
Yeah, or just, facing danger of some kind. You can quickly absorb, magic around you.
Kind of channel
and then try to use it for this. So I would say on a miss, you just don't get anything.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. That makes more sense.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. As you are, beginning to finish, Kor would probably have packed your pack and stuff as well as his own, and sets it down next to you and just says, "How's Yendra today?"
Oh, she's feeling like she's got a lot of positive energy that she's bestowing upon her people, and I was really feeling it.
Good. Perhaps we will have better luck today then.
Oh yeah, that's for certain.
We certainly need it. Well, should we continue?
Yeah, I feel like we made some pretty good progress there yesterday, and hopefully we can actually find a settlement.
That'd be nice. We should hopefully begin to make contact with some people and try to perform our diplomatic mission here.
Yeah, that's hopefully the plan.
All right, well, lead on.
All right, so then this is back to our...
Undertake a journey. Yep, so roll wits. This is a scenario where we could try to, secure an advantage in order to make this first roll better. But I don't know, I don't know there's really anything in this situation that would provide an advantage on the journey, so.
Well, what if we search, the building? Maybe there's some information about, whether it's a map or just something that might help us there. So that might be worth searching if the dice are in our favor.
Yeah.
Think that makes sense?
Sure. Let's see. You want to search or you want me to?
I feel like you should search.
It went so well yesterday. All right. Well, I guess I'll probably roll plus wits. I feel like there's no
observation, insight. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm feeling this for us.
Okay.
Yinder told me.
Well, it didn't go great. That's a miss. That's terrible. I rolled a 1 on the d6 and a 3 and a 4 on the challenge die, and it's still a miss.
You know why? If you had prayed too.
You know, that's probably true. All right, so I fail and have to pay the price. So
boy, another crocodile.
I don't think we're going to do that.
No.
But I'm just going to roll on this table and see what happens.
Yeah.
So 32. Something of value is lost or destroyed.
Oh, wow.
Okay. All right. Let's say we have a lantern or something, that I'm taking in this building, and as I'm looking around, I smash it or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe you bump it off like a post as you're walking up, and it like falls down and it quickly sinks in the water and it's gone.
Yeah.
Okay. There goes our light at night.
So I kind of jump out of the building and look down at just the handle that I'm carrying and look over at you. I think I broke our lantern.
I get started things. We've had this discussion before, but the invite's always open if you want to join me for prayers.
Maybe tomorrow.
We're going to find a place, and they're going to have another lantern. It's okay. We won't need it.
Who needs to be able to see in the dark?
Pretty much everybody, especially out here, but, we're not going to need that. It's all right.
We'll just find somewhere today.
All right, I'm just going to roll and get us out of here. That's a great roll. So that would be a... Journey was a wits, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, so that's 8, which is a strong hit. So we reach a waypoint.
Okay.
And should we ask the Oracle? Or how far are we in our journey?
We are at a +6.
Okay.
So rolling against that, we'd have to get a 5 or lower on both the challenge dice to succeed.
Okay. With our supplies decent, should I maybe burn a supply to take another momentum? You think that's a good trade?
Sure. I mean, I think having you up to a 9 on momentum is... that could be really helpful. All right, so we are back down to a 3 with supply.
Okay.
It dwindles so fast.
It does.
Yeah, do you want to...
Yeah, I like the Oracle thing. It's kind of fun. I like the randomness of it. Let's say 31.
All right, 31. A tree. You want to roll again and we'll try to describe this tree?
Yeah, I like it. It will be a 40.
A big tree.
Wow. Big difference there.
Is this a... Well, I mean, let's think about a big tree. We could potentially use that to climb it and see if there's anything that, we can see. Maybe a settlement that would help us on our journey.
That's
or
a great idea.
Maybe, it could be a special tree or something. But I think trying to climb it makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, that feels like 100% something that Core is great at climbing trees.
I mean, Core actually probably is really good at climbing trees because he's very, agile, fast. And I feel like that makes sense. He's not very heavy.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we get to this tree, and Core looks up at it, and maybe if I climb the tree, I'll be able to see something.
You want a boost?
Of course.
Yeah, so he picks you up kind of pretty easily with one arm because he's just a big old massive brute, and puts you up on his shoulder and lifts you up.
So what would this be?
I mean, if you're trying to search for something, is this also you trying to secure an advantage in our journey? So
yeah, either that or gather information, probably.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
I feel like secure an advantage probably makes a little more sense here, although it's just going to give me momentum. I guess you just get momentum either way, but you can gather information, we could learn something.
Mm-hmm.
Although that's plus wits.
But like a strong hit for gather information, you would discover something helpful or specific. So like we'd like see where we have to go.
Yeah, I think it makes sense. I don't know how kosher this is, but I think it would make sense to do gather information, but for me to roll plus edge instead of wits, because I'm climbing a tree and I don't think wits are really going to help with that. So.
Oh yeah.
But my speed and athleticism does. So let's do that.
Okay.
Now, because you're helping me and we share a bond, should I add a +1?
Of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
You are one of my bonds.
Yeah.
So.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So that's a 7, and I got a 2 and a 1 on the challenge dice. So.
Nice.
Definitely a success. So I'm going to take the +2 momentum, and then we learn something.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like you should see a settlement.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Should we see this, well, let's use an oracle. Let's see what kind of settlement.
Okay. You want me to roll it?
Yeah.
44.
Okay, now roll again.
Okay. 64.
All right, so it's named Fox Hollow.
Okay.
So I yell down to you, Uli, you were right. There's a settlement up ahead.
Well, get down here, man. Let's get over there.
Yeah, we're actually pretty close. And I climb down.
Okay.
All right, so now we know where we're going.
Cool.
So I guess go ahead and roll again, and we'll see if we get there.
Yeah, hopefully we won't get lost along the way. Potentially would use some momentum on this to make sure. How far are we on the our progress?
We're at a 6, so if you get this and, we take the progress and get to an 8, I'd say that would be a good time to reach the destination and see if we hit.
Okay. Well, I only rolled a 3 on my dice, but rolled a 1 and a 2 on the other ones. The challenge dice, so.
There you go. All right, so that brings us to an 8. Probably keep our supply.
Yeah, I think so.
And then why don't you go ahead and roll to see if we've reached our destination.
Okay, so I'm going to roll the challenge dice and compare to our progress. So basically, that has got to beat.
Yes, the 8 has to beat what you roll, so you need to roll 7 through 11.
So we need low numbers on here. 1 and a 9.
Okay.
So then that'd be a
so
weak hit?
Yep, it's a weak hit. You arrive, but face an unforeseen hazard or complication. So, I think it actually makes sense that we roll on this settlement trouble.
Okay.
To see kind of what's happening as we arrive.
Okay.
So go ahead and roll again.
Oh, this is a little nerve-wracking. Okay. That is a 22.
22. Rival settlement.
Okay.
So maybe they're being raided as we arrive?
Okay. Sure.
And why not?
Yeah.
So if we look at this map, if this is in the, we're in these marshes, so that would mean we're in the Bloody Spear clan's territory. Maybe the Flame Tongue clan or Frozen Earth clan or the Iron Scale clan, one of these other clans kind of in the general vicinity would be the ones raiding.
Yeah, so maybe the Flame Tongue clan have come down out of the frozen forest to raid their settlement.
Yeah. So we are making our way towards the settlement, probably when we hear the sounds of combat and screams.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So how do we intervene here? Who do we who do we know who's good and who is not?
We don't.
No.
So, well, let's do this in character.
Okay.
Core kind of stops and looks at you and says, if there's fighting up ahead, we should try to help.
Yeah, but who do you pick? Who to help? I mean, I can't even tell who's who.
It's true. Well, let's see if we can get closer and figure it out. I could see facing danger, kind of us trying to make our way into this situation and figure out if there's someone we should help.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe trying to stop the situation with something dramatic, like draw the circle, like, challenging someone to a duel, or?
Yeah, I feel like we need to kind of figure out what's going on first.
Yeah.
So maybe if we can, get into the settlement and find someone of importance to talk to.
Yeah. Do you think we should try to face danger or gather information?
I mean, we're not even in the community first or yet, so I think maybe facing the danger to even get there. Because we're attempting something risky, for sure. But we're probably trying to like kind of sneak in. So is this maybe like a shadow?
The one that I just said I'm not gonna take.
Yeah, or or with edge for speed, agility, precision. Like getting in there, dodging all the fighting to get in, using the chaos just to kind of make a beeline.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of feel like we actually probably should both roll this separately, and base it on how we would do it.
Yeah.
Because I would be moving in as quickly as possible, trying to get to a place of safety and to where we can try to find some information, trying to use my natural athleticism, whereas you probably wouldn't be doing that.
No, I'd be like a linebacker, just like trying to run through these guys. Okay, yeah, I like that. So I'll roll iron then.
Okay, that adds the chance of double the problems, but why not?
Yeah.
This could be a situation where facing danger was one of those things that Invoke could help with if you wanted to. If you wanted to try to use some of your mystical essence of your surroundings. But on a fail, it's definitely, or on a weak hit, it's going to make you endure stress.
So is it a separate roll than what I'm doing?
You would try to kind of consume the essence of your surroundings, and then you would use that to face danger.
Okay.
So essentially, you'd try to kind of take a deep breath almost before you do it, and then use it to help your face danger.
Okay. I'd like to try this. I want to see how it can go. So So it's plus wits to try to consume the mystical essence of your surroundings. Okay. Oh, not great. I rolled a 1, so that'd be a 3, which is much less than the 7 and a 6. So, yeah.
Well, that's a miss, and I think that just means you can't use essence for your...
Okay, good. So nothing negative is happening.
Yeah, I
just don't get any...
fail at, trying to gain the magic there.
Okay. Narratively kind of checks out. It's like I'm kind of feeling something's going on here, but can't harness it quite yet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh boy. Alright, so I got a 9 against a 10 and a 2, so I got a weak hit on my face danger.
Yeah, I also got a weak hit on mine as well. So on a weak hit, you succeed, but face a troublesome cost. Choose one. You're delayed, lose advantage, or face a new danger, which is a loss of momentum. You're tired or hurt, which I don't want to take. I feel like losing a resource makes sense if I'm bum rushing, like, one of my little pouches falls off and I lose some supplies.
Okay. So we would drop our supply down to a 2.
That's right. We're going to save this settlement and they're just going to reward us greatly. So it's fine. We don't need it anyway.
I'm probably going to suffer the loss to the momentum. My momentum isn't great right now anyway. So I don't want to drop our supply any further. So.
Okay.
All right. So we make our way in, and what are we trying to do? I mean, how do we figure out who to help in this situation?
I mean, I feel like we would not look like the raiding party here going to the settlements. I think we have that going for us, that they may not instantly think that we're hostile. So maybe see if there is I picture like a captain or somebody who's overseeing, but they're not actively fighting. So trying to find them so we can talk to somebody.
Okay. I think in this situation, Core would allow you to take the lead because, you know, these are your people and you fit in a little better. This is the first we faced. Kor's natural inclination would be to protect this village, without knowing either of the sides. You know, it feels like helping the people that we've found is better than a random raiding party, or people that are attacking. But yeah, so as we kind of make it to a point where we can see this leader, Kor says, "You take the lead. I'll back you up."
Okay. So then I feel like we may not necessarily need a roll for this, right? I could just probably find somebody and then you can help.
Yeah, I mean, there are relationship moves as far as like, trying to persuade somebody or, things like that, or trying to, create a bond or things like that. But until we get to that sort of situation, I would think just kind of role play it out and see what happens. So this is kind of a first for us to create an NPC. Let's create a NPC here. But we already know this person's role. They're the leader. Let's give them a quick description. So why don't you roll?
Okay. 85.
85. Loyal. And let's do another one.
Okay. 38.
38 is disfigured.
Okay.
Steal your pencil here.
Sure.
So loyal and disfigured. Chieftain of, what was it? Fox Hollow?
Fox Hollow. For the disfigurement, what do you think about like missing a limb? Got kind of like the fabric tied around,
Yeah, I like it.
Okay.
So missing an arm?
Yep, missing an arm.
I don't know if the Ironlander names here totally make sense, but let's just roll on this anyway and come up with a name.
Yeah. Want me to roll again?
Yeah.
All right, so that is a 83.
Fanir. Works for me.
Yeah. Fanir?
Yep.
I feel like Fanir maybe lost that arm to the Flame Tongue clan.
This is a clan rivalry, and now they're back. Yeah. All right. I think this is enough for me to go off of to kind of roleplay this character for you. So
okay,
take it away.
All right. Yeah. So I kind of approach. Don't have my weapon out or anything. Tell with how he's looking out over his people. You can tell he's of importance. So I kind of put two hands up. Excuse me there. Excuse me.
Yes. What can I help you with? I'm busy here.
Yes, we saw it here. We're from out of here. What's going on here?
We're being raided.
Who are these people?
If history has anything to say here, then it's probably Pemba, one of the leaders of the Flame Tongue clan. He's the one who took my arm.
So is this just a unprovoked thing here? Is this a common occurrence for your people?
Well, our clans are not exactly allies right now, but yes, the Flame Tongues like to raid into our marshes. Their forests are too frozen to have much supplies of their own.
Well, we're not from here, which you could probably tell, by my companion and I here, just how we look, but maybe we could help you out. You could help us. We're a bit stranded, but would you like our aid?
Are you warriors?
We're the best of the best.
Well, then yes, of course. You help us out, and we'll be happy to help you with whatever you need.
All right. Any of looking out here, is there an area where we'd be of best assistance for you?
I don't know. What do we want to say that they would, have us help with?
It's got a fun idea. So let's say that there's like a ballista that's like been knocked off its track, kind of knocked over, and we could help like set it up and defend an area.
Yeah. All right. So are we thinking of this as like a kind of a larger village that has walls and, maybe some towers with ballistas on it then?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Something that's like, not a massive city, but it's not a little, podunk village,
Okay.
Yeah.
I like it. Yeah, so he points and he says, "You see that tower there? It's been overrun, but if you can get to that and set that ballista back up, you could make a real impact in that area."
All right, so I look over to Kor and, hey, you up for this, man?
Let's do it.
All right. So let's try to help this clan here.
Yeah, I like it. So we make our way towards that. Maybe just kind of move things along a little bit. Maybe we just do another face danger, to get there.
Yeah.
All right, that's a strong hit for me.
Okay. It's a weak hit for me. I don't think I want to take any harm, but maybe I'll endure stress. What does that do?
So enduring stress would be your spirit instead of your health.
Okay.
So, yeah. You'll suffer spirit equal to your foe's rank or as appropriate to the situation. So I would say maybe just 1.
So I would go down from my, basically the +5 to +4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you will roll plus spirit or plus heart, whichever is higher.
The spirit.
Okay.
Got it. So then I do a +4 to my roll. So then that's 8, which is greater than both of those. So then...
All right. So on a strong hit, you can take a negative momentum instead of that spirit, or you can embrace the darkness and take an extra momentum. So essentially you're losing a spirit and gaining a momentum, or you can lose a momentum to keep your spirit the same.
I feel like, so kind of what I'm picturing is like, as I'm running to get there, there's this, fight happening, and one of the enemy comes through and like kills a woman like right there in front of me. So like, there's kind of the shock of that, but then also, I'm gonna increase my momentum and keep the spirit loss.
I like it.
Yeah. So now I am at a +10 momentum.
All right. So
I'm a freight train, man, just coming through.
Some roll, you can just get a strong hit.
Yes, that's my hope here.
Which you may want to save, for a 10 on a challenge dice or a 9 or something.
Yep.
But
just a moment that really counts.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so we make it to this tower. Is there anybody guarding it, or do we need to fight to get to it, or should we just... I would say the face danger probably is enough.
Yeah, I think so.
All right, so are you going to set it up?
Yeah.
Because I'm probably not strong enough, but...
Yeah, I think you would be good at like keeping guard as I'm doing this.
Okay. Yeah, so you set it up and I'm keeping watch, and I mean you're big and strong. I don't see any reason why you couldn't just get it set up.
Yeah.
All right. And then what are you going to do with it?
I think we would aim it at big chunk of if there's an enemy that's grouped up in an area, or if they have any sort of cards, just trying to make a big impact,
Yeah.
What would you picture?
I mean, I don't think this necessarily is any of these moves, so to speak.
Mm-hmm. Is this like the battle stuff versus the entering the fray?
Okay. I like it. Yeah, I'd say
This is like the wits, right? The kind of the careful tactics. Or, I mean, isn't your shadow... No, your shadow's not high. Never mind.
No, neither of us took a high shadow. I actually think because we've made it to this ballista, I would use edge or iron in that case.
Okay.
Either me firing it because I'm, good at ranged combat and use edge, or, maybe your strength and... kind of what you've been doing using iron.
Yeah, I kind of like you doing the edge because it's at range. We're using the terrain essentially. Yeah, some of it's like man-made, but it's still kind of that advantage of doing that. So yeah, I like that.
Okay, yeah. So you set this thing up. I'm watching, and then yeah, do you tell me to man it?
Yeah.
Let's hear it.
Yeah. Hey, Kor, get on here, man. You got this.
All right, where should I aim?
Look out there. There's like guys on horses and a cart. It's strike them at the heart, man.
All right, load me.
Yeah, so I'll get it loaded in there and like put it in place.
All right, yeah, I take a moment to aim, and let's see what happens.
Okay.
All right, that is a strong hit.
Yeah.
So on a strong hit, you achieve your objective unconditionally. Take +2 momentum.
Sweet.
That's good, because my momentum has not been great. So yeah, I fire, and this explodes kind of into this group, and knocks over multiple people, impales a couple people, hits the cart, knocks it over. Do we have time for another one?
Yeah,
before
I think so.
Somebody sees what we're doing and tries to take us out?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we got space in between. We're at a range, so let's go for it again.
Cool.
So I'll load you up again.
All right. That is a miss. So I rolled a 9, but I got 9s on both the challenge dice.
Ooh.
So that's a miss, and it's a whatever they call it, a critical miss essentially.
Mm-hmm.
So pay the price. I'm gonna go ahead and roll on the pay the price table just to see what it is, but I think I've got kind of
a general idea
here.
Yeah.
83. Surprising development complicates your quest. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think it should, this ballista was already knocked over. We set it back up. I would think it's gonna break as I'm firing and probably fling me off of this tower. I'm just gonna take a damage here because of that.
As you're like flying across this, like you'll be like, oh, tuck and roll, man.
And I think the complication here is that we're gonna have to get into the fight and actually fight these guys.
Yeah, I feel like that weakened them a bit though.
Yeah, I think so too.
Okay.
Kor gets flung off of this tower and lands heavily and stands up and can just see there are multiple raiders that have now focused on us and are running at us. These half giants with their axes and their swords. Mm-hmm. And Kor just kind of stands up and pulls his pistols and shouts up at Uli, I think we're gonna have to get into the fray here.
Yeah, so he'll kind of walk up. He's like cracking his back. He pulls his sword and his shield out and smacks them together a few times, and prepping himself as you behind him.
So do you just leap off of this tower?
Yeah. Well, not leap off. I run down the stairs. As I'm running, I'd be pulling the shield and the sword, kind of getting myself amped up.
Okay, but at some point you leap some of the stairs. I mean, come on.
Yeah, like the bottom 2 or 3,
It's like your kids going down the stairs.
Yes, exactly. Like boom, and then down the bottom. Just like that.
All right. I think to make this a little more interesting, one of these raiders that is now coming for us just looks huge, massive. I'm going to say it's probably Pemba, the leader of this this raiding party who's now come for us.
Okay.
And we'll
end it there.
Yeah, we'll pick up next time with this battle.
Sweet. All right, so this is actually pretty fun. I'm liking the randomness and kind of things popping up, and yeah, I like it.
Yeah, I think it's a lot of fun. I think our biggest struggle is just going to be to continue, role playing and making this not just an out of character rolling dice thing.
Flesh out the world a little bit. Well,
yeah.
Thanks everybody for listening. For us trying this new system, we're playing Ironsworn, and we definitely recommend giving it a try.